Right.
All right.
Okay.
Lovely
Okay.
to see you, Ann-Marie. Thank you so much for joining us today for our Solas Inspirational podcast. And one of the reasons I asked you to join us is because you have assisted me in publishing a book. I'd love you to tell people about that, because I think there's lots of budding authors out there. And the other thing is that you were heavily involved in fostering, which Michael and I also looked into. So they're the two topics we'd love to discuss with you today, if that's all right with you.
Oh, that's perfect. Yes. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Julie. Nice to see you both again.
Yeah, great to see you too. Looking very, very happy all together, nice and bright.
Well, given that I had 3 kids landing at me at 3 o'clock this morning, I'm surprised.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness. Yes. Would you like to tell people a little bit about the fostering? I'm aware now, obviously, with confidentiality, there's certain things you can't talk about, but Michael and I had looked into fostering and we'd had a great chat with you before. And it is something that I think would appeal to people, because there are a lot of kind-hearted people out there who want to help. So maybe just in a few sentences, tell us about it and what drew you to it in the first place.
Yes, well, look, I'm really passionate about the fostering. I'm an emergency foster carer, which is the children come for maybe 1 night, 2 nights, 3 nights, 4 nights. So there is no long-term commitment. And it's what you're doing in the emergency situation is children who come into the care system. So let's say the Gardaí knock on a door and find children at home alone or something like that, and realize that they can't be left on their own. They have to come into a family to stay with for the night. So the emergency system is particularly rewarding because you're providing that soft place to fall at the time when they need it the most. Yeah. And at the end of the day, they're children, and fostering has such a bad name, which is the heartbreaking part about it. People think, oh, the kids are difficult and hard to deal with. And I've had nearly 160 children through my house to date. That's a lot of children. Okay. And we've had very, very little incident, maybe half a percent of difficult children. Most of the children, they are traumatized. They're just so delighted to get to a warm house, a warm, friendly house, to be welcomed, to see toys. Most of the children that come to me, they don't have toys. They don't see toys. Yeah. And to get fed and well fed, as one boy said to me once, there is a God. I know there's a God now because a few days ago when I was sleeping rough, I said, if there's a God, come and tell me the other day. And he said, look at me now. I'm in this house. And he said, I'm having 3 meals a day plus snacks.
Wow.
Oh,
wow. I mean, that's so touching. This boy hadn't been eating, hadn't been given food to eat. So there's all sorts of different circumstances. Sometimes the last children that arrived into me, the mum had gone into hospital to have a baby. Okay. So there was no issue there, and there was no one to mind these 3 children. She'd gone into labour in the middle of the night, and the children were brought to me, and for the 3 or 4 days while Mammy had the baby and got out of hospital again. So there's all sorts of different circumstances, and it's a fabulous thing for anyone to do.
Yes.
And it's a great way to put your toe into fostering. There's no long-term commitment. There's no, you're not committed. You're committed for maybe 2 weekends a month or maybe a full week at a time. And you're on call. You may go on call for the week and have no children placed with you. I haven't had children now for about 10 days. And yet I had 3 arrive last night, but they went again this afternoon. But I would get maybe 2 placements a month. Of course, if the children are down south and not near me, they won't be placed near with me.
Yeah.
And there is a desperate need for it, a really huge need for people to welcome the children into their houses. And, you do get a payment, you do get rewarded. And but it's not really about the money at all. You couldn't do it for that. It's about being there for people when they really need it. And giving these children some hope that, there are nice people out there, there are kind people out there. And also, even if it's only for a day or 2, showing them a different view of the world, a different house, a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
And maybe they can, look to that one day. Absolutely. So that's the fostering. And as I say, it's been one of the most wonderful things I've ever done. And all the family love it. All of my family love it. My husband, my son, my daughter. And it's ultimately hugely rewarding. hugely rewarding.
Very good.
Fantastic. And is
Yeah.
there an agency you use, Ann-Marie? Because I'll put the description in the chat, because people may be interested. I know Michael and I were interested, and your passion is just so obvious. I know you and I have had chats about it before, and anyone who loves children, coming from a background of primary teaching, yes, I love being around children, and I think there would be a lot of people out there who would like to give of their time.
Yeah, I think it really is wonderful, and it's heartbreaking that more people aren't interested in doing it, but it's because of all the negative connotation, I think. So the emergency fostering in Ireland is done through TUSLA, but TUSLA contract that out to a private agency, and the agency that I work through is called Five Rivers Fostering.
Okay.
And Five Rivers Fostering is a wonderful organisation. They are incredibly child-friendly, child-centred, and really full of fabulous people. And so the only stipulation is that you have a spare bedroom. So a child can't share a bedroom with another child in the house.
Yeah.
And that you're available. So if you're on call, let's say for the weekend, you're on call from Friday at 6 o'clock until Monday morning. So you could get children placed on a Friday night. The phone could ring at 2 in the morning, at 5 in the morning. Could be in the middle of the day, Saturday. And then the weekend might pass and no one might come. But you're just on call. You're available if the need is required.
Okay,
Very
okay,
good.
great. Well, we put those details in the chat. And while I have you two, Christmas is coming, and it's thanks to you and a chat that I had with you that I have a little Christmas book published called The First Miracle, and they're actually stocking it in the local bookstore in Arklow. So I'm so indebted and so grateful that we had that conversation. Would you like to tell people also, this is another sideline that you have, and you have a tremendous gift. I saw you talking to another author, a mutual author friend of ours, also giving him advice recently. So please, Ann-Marie, tell people a little bit about what you do, because your details are going to be in the chat, and I'm hoping people will reach out to you.
Okay, well, I got into I'll tell you how I got into the self-authoring books. I had a child leave me after 5 or 6 years, a long-term foster child. And of course, there was a big hole in my heart after that, and a lot of, time. And I thought, I need to do something to busy my time. And I had often thought about this idea. And that's when I went off and I got trained. I worked with an American woman who became my mentor, and she taught me how to create books on the Amazon platform, and it's called the KDP platform, sold through Amazon. And I think another thing about, I think the first thing to say about that is, so many people say, oh, not Amazon. I'm not going to give business to that big, organization. And I do understand that, but I think they have it wrong. And I tell you why. What they are missing is that Amazon allows hundreds of thousands of mums and dads like me, little businesses that are run from our kitchen table. It allows us to sell our products, whether they're home-produced books, whether they're home-produced gifts, or whatever, home-produced soaps or lotions or whatever. It is the platform, the marketplace, that makes small people like me, makes it possible for us. So when people are immediately down on Amazon, I think, well, it's a little bit unfair, because it allows us a great opportunity. So what I got involved specifically, not really authoring books, but I got involved in making diaries, making gratitude journals. My children all grew up with horses, so my best-selling books are pony books, horse riding, pony manuals, colouring books for children. So I create books around the things. If I've got children in, I create positive colouring books. I create pony and horse colouring books. I create horse riding journals for children to go through with their teachers and that sort of stuff. So anyone can create a book. You create a book around something that you're interested in.
Sure.
And then the publishing side to the Amazon platform is just a process that needs to be learned. And I'm happy to help anyone that would like to self-publish a book. It's very easy, especially if you start off with, before you start the book, if you start off with the right templates and things like that, it makes it very, very easy. And a book can be put on Amazon and can be published within 3 or 4 days.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, thank
Wonderful.
you. I can certainly vouch for that. And actually, we were with Michael's daughter and her partner recently, and they were talking about the Irish mindfulness diary I put together, and that was thanks to you also. So I just found you
Yes.
so kind and positive and insightful. So yes, if it's okay, I might pop your email in the chat, and I'm hoping people will reach out to you in an advisory capacity then, that you can chat to them.
No problem.
And yeah, no, that would be wonderful. And thank you so much for your time today. I know you're a busy lady and you didn't get much sleep last night. So Michael and I are very grateful that you took the time, and I'm sure people will reach out to you after this, Ann-Marie. So Gurmila Mahaga, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. And we look forward to seeing you soon in person.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll see you very soon.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Julie. It's lovely to talk
Thank
to you.
you. Lovely
Take
to talk
care.
to you too.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.